No, it's not.
Exactly. We're with them. You're going to be
Don't go
stressed
yet?
out on us.
Not yet.
Are we good?
I think so.
Feedback.
Feedback.
And I'm like, I hear myself pay $45 to do it, and I feel like doing that.
All right, everybody, how we doing tonight? Good. Well, I would like to welcome you all to the 34th Annual Cincinnati Story Slam. And we would like to thank our national sponsors, the Oprah Network, Barnes & Noble, and soon the United Nations. So, thank you. It's been hard work, but we made it. Okay, not really. This is actually the second Story Slam that we've had, and hopefully it'll be the second of many to come. So a little bit about us. We're here together as a group, a growing group of people that appreciate and enjoy the power of stories and how they can connect communities and bring people together with others that they wouldn't have thought that they maybe would have connected with in the first place. And hopefully after tonight, you will no longer be lost, but you'll be found in the connection and power that stories give. Thank you. I think I thought of that on the way over here in the car. So, first up, we're going to have our first storyteller, Eileen Tull. And as I mentioned Oprah before, she is going to tell us a story about an encounter with Oprah, a close encounter, and how that brought her to an unexpected realization. Give it up for Eileen Tull.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Eileen.
Here, no, you can sit here.
So, this is a story about some things that happened to me back in 2005. So back in 2005, I went to college in Chicago, and I went on a mission trip, and the mission trip was really great. And from that mission trip, I got set up with 4 tickets to the Oprah Winfrey Show, which you may have heard of. And so I went with 3 other girls who had been on the mission trip with me, and it was November at that point, and we were all waiting in line outside of Harpo Studios, and someone said, "What if this is like an Oprah's Favorite Things episode?" And I didn't know what that was. And it was the year after You Get a Car, You Get a Car, You Get a Car, You Get a Car, and she gave away like 1 billion cars. So I should have known. I'm pretty into pop culture, but I had no idea. So I was like, what's Oprah's Favorite Things? And Oprah's Favorite Things was an episode every season of the Oprah Show where she picked a bunch of her favorite things for that year and gave them to the audience. So if Oprah was craving brownies, she would give everybody in the audience brownies. If she thought that, that a certain car was really cool, she gave everybody in the audience a car. So she did that for many years, and it really was sort of set up, the gift giving and gift buying season. And so it really was a popular kind of way to make yourself fancy when you would give someone a fancy gift that Oprah told you to buy. So we're standing in line, and I was starting to get hyped. I was like, wow, if that's what this is, then that's amazing. I'm so excited. So we go in, and immediately we're, hoping that it's going to be an Oprah's Favorite Things episode. And you walk in, and it's just the normal studio. Okay, on my worst day, I'm going to see Oprah do a show. Like, that's going to be pretty cool. Too bad it's not a Favorite Things episode. I'll be fine. So we get there, and everybody's really excited because Oprah is sort of like some kind of, female Jesus, especially for like suburban Christian straight white women. So we're all kind of like expecting the Lord to come in. And so she comes in, and the cameras are not rolling yet. She comes in, and we're all like, Oprah. And she starts kind of being a bitch, if I can say that word in First Cinci Story Slam event. She starts bossing people around, and she's just, it's kind of like, that somebody has to be in control of a big empire like that, but you never think that they're going to be that rude to people. She's yelling at the cameraman and telling people to sit down and people in the audience. She was like, "You're telling a story, great, stand up. What's your story? Okay, great, sit down, back down." You know, and I was like, wow, Oprah's not a very nice person. TV lies to me. And so finally they're like, okay, we're gonna actually start taping. And everybody's kind of excited, but a little put off that Oprah's so mean. So she starts, you know, talking to the camera about how, you know, all these volunteers, because we were all volunteers who had all gone on mission trips, how everybody was really great. And I was kind of like, well, you say we're really great, but you're kind of a rude person, so thanks a lot for that. And she says, you know, I have an audience full of people who gave a lot of their time. They gave a lot of their energy. They gave a lot of their effort. They gave up so many things so that they could go and work on these mission trips. They gave so much. And now I want to give something to them. I want to give them some of my favorite things! And we all explode into a fervor of Oprah magic insanity. I mean, it was like, I think they were pumping in like ecstasy through the air. Again, I had only found out what Oprah's favorite things was like hours before, but I was like screaming as if like I was on fire. And so immediately the set opens up to this beautiful Christmas land. People dressed in elves come galloping down the aisles with boxes and they're handing you things and you're like, yes, Oprah, thank you, like, thank you, Oprah. And so it dies down a little bit. It's probably like 10 minutes of just screaming women and like 5 guys. And so then she goes, I had you fooled, didn't I? Like you thought I was coming out here all tough and all mean and I'm doing the favorite thing show. And we were like, I was like, Oprah, you got me. Oprah. So it was amazing. It was an amazing experience. It was, you know, we got everything from a big giant tub of Garrett's popcorn, which is Chicago magic, to a Burberry coat, very fashionable in 2005 and today. I got a Sony Vaio computer, which is humongous in comparison to any laptop you would want to buy today. I got a video iPod, which had not been released yet, so it's also enormous. I got a BlackBerry, which again, the cutting edge of technology was the BlackBerry. I got, you know, all these, a Ralph Lauren sweater, a Burberry purse, Ugg boots that were very wonderful. What else? I think, you know, I got a camera, I got a diamond watch, I got Sarah Jessica Parker perfume, all this stuff, and it's all coming at you, and you're just like going insane. I'm 18, you know, so I'm just kind of like, I'll never feel this happy again in my life, which has turned out to be true. So it was amazing, and you know, I felt like Oprah had a moment where, just one of the points in the show where people started screaming, which was almost every point in the show, and I just started going, Oprah, you're the best, and she looked into my eyes, these eyes, like you guys are seeing these eyes that Oprah saw, and she went, no, you, and I went, no, you, Oprah. So it's incredible. It's incredible, and you know, so I mean, and then a longer version of the story would include that we stayed for a second episode where Jamie Foxx was there. You got to be in the audience for 2 episodes. We lugged all of our stuff back in a taxi across Chicago. It's like, oh, you get all these bags of things, and we have to keep it a secret. You know, she said, I know everybody's going to go and tell their mama, because everyone wants to tell their mama, but don't tell anybody, because the episode won't air for another couple weeks. So I, you know, told all my friends, like, watch the Oprah show, it'll be fun. So everybody was seething with jealousy, which was exactly what I wanted. And I got to be on TV a lot because we were like a bunch of young girls, and so it was so amazing. And I got to get all these things. I got to get all these possessions that I never could have afforded, even now in my life, all these diamonds and coats and things like that. So it was such an amazing experience, and it's kind of a claim to fame, one of the coolest things that's ever happened to me. And I sometimes lose the first part of the story, which is why I was there in the first place. I wasn't there that's not the reason that happened, was because I was really special and got onto Oprah. So the reason I was there with everybody else in the audience was because I went and I volunteered for a mission trip down to Hurricane Katrina, because this was the fall of 2005. In the end of the summer of 2005, Hurricane Katrina ripped through the South. It destroyed hundreds and hundreds of homes, land, buildings. It destroyed people's families. It ripped apart people's lives. And it took many of our fellow Americans with it. And so I had the opportunity to go on a mission trip. It was my first mission trip. It was, you could either go home for the fall break or you could go on this trip. And so I went with 3 busfuls of people, and we all packed up our things from Chicago and went down to Pascagoula, Mississippi. I'd never been to the South before. And it was a fascinating experience, first of all, to be in that place at that time. It was in October, so it was quite soon after the hurricane had hit. And to see just the scale of what's possible in a natural disaster. We saw casino barges that were in the water were hundreds of feet on the land, these enormous stories-high barges just thrown up on the land onto people's homes. You would see all the roofs of buildings that were caved in, and they took us into a few of them, and we looked up, and we went into this beautiful church. The ceiling was completely gone, but all the stained glass on the sides was still there. So it had this beautiful reverential feeling that you were looking right up to God. But at the same time, it was knowing that this place had been ripped apart. We drove through neighborhoods, homes were destroyed, and you'd just see the foundations where they used to be. And then you would see X's on the houses in red spray paint. And we were told that meant they had been searched for bodies already. And so I was very struck by the scale of that, the scale of the strength of nature, the strength of the natural world, and the strength of the unexpected. But I was also struck by the strength of other humans. And that there were 3 busfuls of kids from Loyola, but there were hundreds and hundreds of buses coming from people who spent a lot more time than I did down there and traveled from afar, and people would put their own 2 hands and their backs into this work, and to free people from wreckage, to rescue people from their homes, to rebuild things, to find people's prized family photo albums and that kind of thing. And where I was central was a school. We were sent to a school that hadn't been able to open for the beginning of the year. And again, this was October, so the kids, I think, probably enjoyed, in some sense, an elongated summer. But by October, they were antsy. They lined up behind a chain link fence, waiting for their school to be rebuilt, waiting for us to clean it out so that they could finally just go to school. They wanted to be like normal kids that were learning math and reading and writing. They wanted that so much. And so at one point, we took a break we were hauling things out of the school that had been damaged by water and cleaning, doing a lot of deep cleaning. And someone found a red rubber ball, and we just started playing the world's most ferocious game of kickball with these little kids. And these kids were amazing, and they kicked a ball 10 miles out, and they ran around the bases at 68 miles an hour, and they kicked our butts at kickball. And I'm just amazed by their resilience, by their happiness in the face of tragedy, their perseverance. They just kept going. They just kept a smile on their face, and they were beautiful and wonderful and so kind and so grateful to us. And you just felt so sorry that it happened, and you wanted to accept their gratitude, but it was like you wanted to give them everything you had. The shirt off your back, the money, it was like people were trying to give people digital cameras, just to give them anything you could. And so it's important for me not to lose that part of the story, because then I went on to have this amazing experience, to go on the Oprah show and to be given all of these gifts and to have this experience that it's so fun and so cool, and people love hearing about it because it's famous and interesting and on TV. But when I really think about the story, I really enjoyed that kickball game more than I did hanging out with Oprah. Thank you.
All right, guys, give it up for Eileen again. Favorite things and kickball. I can't do better. Well, I was just looking at my iPod, and the Cincinnati Zoo put out this post that there's a tiger that apparently is loose in Cincinnati, and it's in this area. And so it actually might be in this cafe right now. But Layla might actually have a little tip on finding that tiger. Layla, means come to the stage.
Wow. That intro was pretty cool. Can you hear me okay? Okay. Well, hello, beautiful people. My name is Layla.
Hey, Layla.
How are you guys doing?
Great.
Fantastic. All right, so I have a bit of a memory issue, so I kind of prepared mine in like 11-point font and everything like that. So please bear with me. All right, so the theme is Lost and Found. All right, so this story is about how I lost my ice cubes and found my tiger. You're laughing already. This is a good sign. Okay, so I am a woman of a past. I have a very long work history. In my 20 plus years on this earth, I've had numerous jobs. I've worked at La Rosa's as a cashier slash hostess slash salad maker, box maker, sunshine provider, you name it. I've also worked as a internet surfing temp at numerous companies. I've also done work with Ritz Crackers. I've passed out cheese to people on Newport on the Levee. I've done a lot of different jobs. I've even worked at Bose. I used to sell speakers, equipment, and everything like that. So I've worked a lot. But this one particular job I had really has the most vibrant memories for me. That was when I was a teacher's aide at William Howard Taft Elementary. Anybody familiar?
Yeah.
It's in Mount Arbor. I was a teacher's aide there for 2 years, and I don't really have an education background, but it was more so a job for me to go in straight out of grad school, make some money, get some experience till I figure out what I'm supposed to do with my life. So I decided, this is going to be a good opportunity to meet some kids, bond with the children, whatnot. I'm a very peaceful person. I'm pretty retro. I'm kind of like a hippie, whatever. So I'm really mellow, and the kids knew me as being mellow Miss Hameen, But this one particular day really stood out for me. I was the teacher in charge for one day. Instead of hiring a substitute, they went ahead and decided I would be the substitute, but they would not pay me to be a substitute. I would be getting paid as the assistant, acting as the substitute. How fun is that? So, but I was like, this is going to be okay. I have it under control. The kids like me. I'm cool. They'll like me. I had this vision that I was going to play classical music for them. They would be like chewing on the peppermints I give them to stimulate their brains. And they'll be all like learning and eager. Because my mom's a teacher, and I always used to see what she would do, and I'm like, well, if I was a teacher, I'd do that too, but then I would be cooler, whatever. And then I thought, when it's time to leave, we'll skip out to the buses. I could be like the Brown Mary Poppins. We'll be happy, holding hands and running, Goodbye, kids. Have fun. Good job teaching you today. No. This is Taft. I run from them, not okay, no. So this particular day, it started off pretty good. You know, I have my big girl pants on. I'm like, all right, I'm the teacher in charge. Miss Hameen's in charge. Serious face. Mom said, don't smile. Smile to see your weakness. I'm like, all right, I'm not smile. Then I see the little cute one run up, and I'm like, okay, can I smile at you? You're cute. Smile at you, I'm in charge. So what I do, we go through the breakfast line. Everything's good. They're eating their little peanut butter jelly sandwiches for breakfast. Don't ask. It's a very special school. So we were going through line. And then we went to the classroom, put their coats up. Perfect. Everything's going great, right? Perfect. Then it was time for morning lessons. Basic stuff. Let's review our colors, days of the week, months of the year. Let's go for it. We're doing good. We're going through the drill just like I had planned. It's classical music time. Maybe I should put on the classical music so we can all mellow out and get our Einstein on. Yeah, I love how you're laughing because that's what I really thought. So we get there, put the music on. I hear, oh my God, Miss Hameen, he won't stop pinching me. Make him stop pinching me. It's okay, stop pinching her. You don't want her to pinch you? Do you want me to pinch you? Okay, well let's not pinch each other. Problem solved.
Miss Holman, she's punching me now. Now she wants to punch me.
No, this is Santangelo. Santangelo's about this high.
I know him.
You know Santangelo?
Yes.
God bless his soul. That's my mini Picasso. He's so talented. But his mannerisms are like,
What are you talking about? What do you want from me?
you know, he's one of those types of kids. And
She's punching me again. She's pinching me.
I'm like, okay, just stop. Turn to my left, I see Tishan, my lovely Tishan. He takes his shoes off, puts them on the table just to get comfortable. I said, Tishan, what are you doing? Taking my shoes off. Okay, why? Because I just felt like it. That's good. I'm glad you have feelings and all that, but you have to put shoes on. This is not your living room. Put your shoes on. I don't have to, he says. Yes, you do, I say. No, really, put your shoes on. I don't have to listen to you. You're not my mother. Oh, you're right. Very good. You're starting off with the right answer this morning. I'm not your mother. Do you want to call her? I have a cell phone. You can call her. Let her know that you're taking your shoes off and you should be in class doing what you need to do. He looks at me again and says, I don't care. You're stupid, Miss Hameen. Oh, you think I'm stupid. That's nice. It's perfect. Meanwhile, I don't know what happened. I don't know if they did like a call to each other or whatnot, some secret hand gesture, but like the Munchkin War just broke out. Like there's random objects throwing, literally, it was like a beat. Like one beat, everything started flying. I'm like, are you kidding? This is not happening. I'm looking around thinking there's hidden cameras and plans. Are they tricking me? Am I on TV right now? You guys are so silly. Stop it. You're making me nervous. You're making me really nervous. Stop. I'm in charge of you. I'm your adult and I'm really messing up right now. This is not right. So I'm going in between laughter. Oh God, stop it. This is like the kindergarten cop and I'm supposed to be Mary Poppins and this isn't right. This is not according to plan. So, Tishan decides to take his eraser and throw it at me. Getting abused. Okay, this is not good. All of a sudden, I don't know what happened. I kind of blacked out. This is what I've been told happened. The children. I closed my eyes, and I don't know what happened, but apparently my ice cubes melted. I lost my cool. I got real high. I got angry. Very angry. Psychedelic Miss Hameen was no longer. I was really angry, apparently. I opened my eyes, and I didn't really know what happened. But they were quiet. Not a single sound. I said, great, maybe it's the classical music. I don't know what just happened, but I'm going to capitalize on this and we're going to teach. We're going to learn. Because I care about you guys. And I said, okay, we're just going to go ahead and just keep going. But Tishan was still smirking, because that's what he does. But at least he's going to smirk quietly. I said, okay, are there any questions before we get started? You know, we just gotta let's start the day off. It's already 9:30 and it's a mess in here. Any questions before we get started? And then I see a hand go up. And I'm like, okay, who is this? Oh, it's Javion, aka Javi, aka Java Mocha. I give them funny little nicknames, but he never did understand what Mocha was, but he liked it. So I said, Java Mocha, you know what? What do you want, sweetie? And he raises his hand. He's really nervous, and he's got these little glasses, and he's like really little and so cute. And he said, Miss Hameen? I said, yeah. You're a tiger. And I look at him and I'm like, I am. Grr, now go back to work. Sit down. And from that moment on, it was like, okay, this is how they respected me. And I hate yelling at kids. I'm a big kid myself. But I needed to get respect from them. So basically what I learned from this experience from working with them, like, working with kids, you're not always going to have a set plan. That's not going to work. Number two, I'm not Mary Poppins, and I probably never will be, and that's fine. Whatever. And number three, I found that everybody has a little bit of tiger in them. That's it.
Alright guys, let's not make Layla angry tonight. She'll bring that tiger back out. We'll have to call the Cincinnati Zoo. Okay, so next up, we've got Colleen O'Connell. Great name, C-O-C, I like it. She's going to talk to us about losing her grandmother's cookbook and the preciousness of the recipes that was inside of those cookbooks, of that cookbook. And what she found from losing that. So, everybody give it up for Colleen.